Welcome back to MustacheMoto. It's Ben, and today I've got a review of the Savior Heat electric heated motorcycle gloves. It's a little late in the year to be doing a review of heated gloves and heated gear, but Savior Heat just sent these to me to review, so I figured I'd go ahead and get it in there for anybody that might still be looking for them. So they did send these to me for free, as well as a pair of heated socks that I'll also be talking about. They're not paying me. It's not a paid sponsorship, a paid review. They don't have any sway over what I say. It's totally my opinion. And I will say I have actually used Savior Heat gloves for a few years, ones that I bought myself, but not these motorcycle ones. All right, that out of the way. Let me say that I'm a big fan of heated gear. If you've watched this video or this YouTube channel for a while, you know I really like my heated gloves, my heated vest. Hadn't tried heated socks until now, but they're pretty cool too. So I want to bring you a quick review of these in case this is something that you are also looking for. So, battery-powered gloves, so you don't have any connection to the motorcycle, which is pretty cool. Of course, that comes with pros and cons, in that your batteries only last a certain amount of time, right? The higher the heat setting, the shorter they last, and then you have to either swap out the batteries or recharge. In practical use, I have not found this to be a big deal. Like I said, I've been using a pair of heated gloves for quite a while, and that's just not too much of an issue. I do have a backup pair of batteries that I bought. They're pretty cheap to buy. So, I've got heated grips on the BMW back there, and I use those quite a bit. They are great for kind of mid-season, cool but not ice cold, and when you're going slower temperatures. If it's really cold, like down into the 30s, or you're on the interstate for a long time where you got a lot of air movement, the heated grips don't really cut it. Your hands are still going to get cold, and you need more heat. That's where the heated gloves really come into effect, and that's where they're going to be a big help for you. All right, Savior Heat has a whole bunch of different versions of heated gear. These are the motorcycle-specific gloves, and they have kind of like a, probably not real carbon fiber, knuckle guard on them. They're also leather for the most part, kind of from the gauntlet up is leather, both on the front and the back. It said it's goat leather, which should be pretty sturdy. It's Cordura behind that. They fit pretty good, pretty true to size. I'm on an extra large in these, which is about what I wear on all gloves. If you're buying winter gloves or heated gloves, don't get them too small. I mean, you're better off a little bit bigger. If you get them too small, it compresses the insulation, and it's tight on your hands, so you have less circulation, and they won't keep your hands nearly as warm. So a little bit on the bigger side is good. Of course, it makes it a little bit more cumbersome using them, a little bit less feel on the levers, but you're going to get the heat and the much warmer hands in return, which is probably a pretty good trade-off, I think. So I have not had a chance to use this version of the gloves in really cold temperatures. Luckily, we had a cold snap, and it was 40 degrees this morning. I mean, you can see them. It's not too cold out right now, but it was in low 40s this morning when I took them out. They do a good job, and heat-wise, they're pretty comparable to these gloves, these Savior Heat gloves that I had previously, or I bought previously. These are more like a ski glove kind of glove, and I bought them because they were cheap. But the heat is really good in them, and I think that's going to be pretty comparable, or it felt like it was pretty comparable to what you get in these motorcycle-specific ones. So these run about $150. I'll link to them on Amazon below, and if they give a discount code for the viewers, I'll put that down in the description also. I've asked them, but I haven't heard back yet whether they'll do that. So the gloves, nice high gauntlet on it, which is great. Big opening, and it's a very easy pull to cinch that shut, which keeps any drafts from going up your sleeve. That's a huge benefit. That really helps keep you from getting cold. And then you just pull the little lock nut bat, and it opens up real easily. 3 power levels, low, medium, high. So these gloves are touchscreen capable, so they do work on your CarPlay, Android Auto device. Of course, it's a winter glove, so it's kind of bulky and thick, so it's a little harder to hit the exact spot where you're trying to poke. But they do work, and they do work pretty well. So these gloves are Bluetooth enabled, which is kind of odd, I think, but Save Your Heat has an app. You connect them the first time, and every time you turn them on, it'll automatically connect to your phone, and you can control the power as well as see a percentage bar graph of how much juice is left in the batteries. You can also see that there's a little 4 LED meter here that shows you how much is left in the glove. So while I don't see that as being a huge benefit with the gloves, when we're talking about the socks, that Bluetooth connection is actually pretty cool. These are real long, so it's going to be up in your calf underneath your pants where the controller is. So if you turn these on, when you put them on, you can then go to your phone and adjust the power, how hot, how cold you want it. You can set a timer so they run for a while and then shut off, as well as see the batteries. Now, what would make it even more useful is if that app worked with your Android Auto and your CarPlay so that you could control it from your touchscreen. I sent them a message and they responded almost immediately and thought that was a great idea, and they really see the benefit for motorcycle riders of how if you could control it from your dash, from your CarPlay device, it would be a huge benefit. So I think they're going to work on that. Otherwise, you got to stop, pull your pants up, and get to the buttons to set it. And that's a real pain in the butt. Or you can stop and get your phone out and connect it and do that. I guess if you have normally mount your phone, it wouldn't be as much of a pain in the butt. But even still, even if it's mounted, you got to unlock your phone and get to the app and deal with all that. So that's a pain. CarPlay would be so much better. All right, Save Your Heat claims that the batteries last about the same in both the socks and the gloves, and that would be about 2.5 to 3 hours on high, 5 to 6 hours on medium, and 9 to 10 hours on low. I'll do some testing and I'll plug that in here and let you know how long they actually lasted. All right, so here's where we're at. The glove on high got 2.5 hours. The glove on medium got 4.5 hours. The sock on high got 4.5 hours. And the sock on medium has gone for 8 hours and it's still cranking, but I'm going to bed. So we're going to cut it off at 8 hours and say it's good for more than 8 hours. That'll get you a full day. The battery gauges on these are not real accurate, especially on high. They kind of stay full until it just drops off a cliff and dies. But pretty good amount of time out of them. And the batteries are not that expensive to get a second set if you want to go long distance. Honestly, if I got to run the gloves on high, I'm probably not going to want to be out there for 5 or 6 hours if it's that cold. And the set that I'm going to link, which is basically the same set, it also has a hardwire option, so you could wire it into your battery on your motorcycle if you wanted, and then run them all day long. So of course, if you got a winter glove, one of the things that's real important about it is you want it to be waterproof, because the only thing worse than cold hands are cold, wet hands. So we don't have a rainy day, but I can certainly simulate it. Take my time here, spend 10 minutes underwater, flexing, moving around, and let's see if we get wet. All right, my hand is dry, so I say waterproof. Totally dry. All right, if you like to ride year-round but you don't like being cold, adding some heat's a great way to go. Now get out there and ride.